Hello! This video is going to be us starting our week-long journey on building a journal. So we're going to go live every day for a couple hours every day. And we're going to build this journal literally from start to finish. If you can't make it to all the live streams, worry not. Eventually there will be a video that summarizes all of it and puts it in one video for you. Eventually. I'm only one woman. I am an awesome woman, but I am not superwoman. I am not a superhero. So this video is about really, truly, how do you come up with ideas? How do you organize them? How do you do the things? So let you in on a little secret. My brain is an ADHD brain. My brain has 1,000 different ideas all at one time. So imagine having 1,000 windows open on your Mac or on your Windows computer, literally 1,000, and all of them playing videos at the same time. That is my brain. Okay, that is my brain. Some of them are on mute, but I still see the idea. So I don't have a problem. Like, people talk about artist block, and I wish I could help them because I don't understand that. I get where I'm in a funk and I just don't feel like making things. Like, I'm so depressed. I'm just so overwhelmed. You know, that analysis paralysis. I don't know if this is going to be a good idea, you know, or whatever. And you know what? I'm going to tell you right now. You're not going to know until you try. So F it, for chunk it, and do it. For chunk it is not my word. That would be Rafi and Klee. And if you don't know who Rafi and Klee are, put them in your YouTube search bar and find out, because they are amazing humans. So first off, this is how I plan for my videos. I put all of my supplies in this box that we're going to be using as our substrate. But usually I use an envelope like this. I have to pull an empty one out. All of them have stuff in them. And I'll just start putting things in here. Oh, I'm gonna put this in there. I'm gonna put that in there. This is a very inexpensive way of doing it. You can use shipping envelopes. Go to the U.S. Postal Service and don't tell them I sent you, and grab some of their flat boxes. Do that. Or they have the envelopes, the Tyvek envelopes. You can do that. Totally free. Don't take a whole stack. Take one or two. You can also order them off of their site and use them for shipping. Because once you use them in your studio, as long as they don't have paint or whatever, stick your journal in there to send it off, or your artwork and send it off, you know? So you're using it for its intended purpose, but you're just sidebarring it for a minute. The other thing I want to show you, and I'm going to show you truly, honestly, what... I'm going to put this to the side just for a moment, because I have a big tray to show you. Let me get, I don't know what's in there, so we're going to leave that on top. Let me show you. So I use bus tubs in my studio because they're heavy duty, they're hardcore, they're amazing. What's in this box? Oh, this is my, hey, I bet you I have it labeled on the other side, or on one of the sides. Yep, headbands. There you go, see? Okay. So these are all the projects that I have started. I get these bags on, I don't know why I'm shouting, sorry about that. I get these bags on Amazon, and I have a lot of other things in here that I don't need in here. Things get swapped in here. So mac and cheese paper. So I pre-cut my paper for my mac and cheese. I do it all at once so I can just grab paper. These are different ephemera projects. These are all my butter boxes, ready cut and ready to go. My macaroni and cheese boxes. These are ones that I gessoed, so that way I can use my jelly plate or whatever I decide to do with them. Custom tapes. These are all my washi tapes that I have made. Okay. But then these are ephemera projects that I want to work on. So I throw anything that's in that thing, I do that. Envelope projects, Christmas. These are all painted papers that I did on the live streams when I was doing a lot of jelly printing last year before last, somewhere in there. So I take one of these bags and I have a tub that is much heavier than this one. This one was just handy that had these bags in it. That I put all the ideas, like I have this bag, and I'll take a piece of blue boxing tape, or not boxing tape, painter's tape, because it's removable. Or you can just write on it with a Sharpie or a wet erase marker. A Sharpie will come off. You take a dry erase marker and color over it, and it'll take it off. Maybe some rubbing alcohol if you need to. And put all your project stuff that you have ideas for in these, and say you have a shabby chic / grunge journal that you want to do, but you have like elements that you come across. You're like, oh, that would look good in that journal thing. So you put it in there, and then when you're looking at it, you go, you're not gonna paint. I feel like making this journal today. You pull it out, you make that journal, and you know, this is probably the best filing system for artists, because one, this is a clear bag. We can see what's in it. We don't have to open it up. We don't have to like snoop or whatever through thousands of envelopes. And I think I paid, I think these were $20 for 10, so $2 a piece. And for the big ones, for these big ones, for the little ones, I think they were closer to 10 or 12 for 10. So they came in all different sizes, and I got a little bit of each because why not? And I'm in the process of going through all the different things and putting them in, but this was handy, had the things. Even my tub is labeled on the outside. See, it says works in progress, mixed media elements. So that way I know, okay, this is what I'm working on today. I'm gonna grab from this. Excuse me. I have all my envelopes in a bin, in a dishwashing bin. Dishwashing bin, I got them at Sam's Club. They were 2 for, I think, $11 or something. I have metal shelves that I got at Home Depot. I think they were like $60 back then. I've had mine forever, literally forever, since like 2018. So I'm gonna leave these out because I have some headbands in that box that I need to put away. So that's gonna stay there. So week 3, what are we gonna be working on this week? So I came across these while I was cleaning, and for lack of wanting to put them away, I stuck them in a baggie, and this is some elements. They're metal finishing pieces. I'm like, this would look cool in a journal. Let's throw this in a baggie and throw it in a box, because we'll use the box as a substrate, because I didn't want to cut the box apart, because it, you know, it's like I didn't. So I was thinking, what about a lap book? You know, we can even take this apart and get our idea. So give me a moment here. I'm gonna just kind of. There we go. Haha. Don't do this at home. Don't use your finger bare naked like I am. That's when you get paper cuts. There we go. So I thought, what if we got this, and what if we, because this goes with this, what if we got another piece of cardboard and use this as our spine guide, and made it a lap book, you know, and then made this side double big, and then had it go over the top. What do you think? What do you think? I think it'd be pretty cool, because this is already cut. We just have to cut this and cut this. And then I was, again, cleaning, sorting, going through things. And I don't remember if this is Tim Holtz or if this is another brand and it's not printed. I don't think it's Tim Holtz because Tim Holtz would be printed. I think this is Steph Apter. I think. I don't know. I'll have to ask Steph. Ask Stephanie. I got this at the Painted Raven. If you like this, fabric. Stephanie has like every kind of fabric you could ever want, except for a handful of licensed fabric. She has Nightmare Before Christmas fabric, guys. I did not know this until like 2 weeks ago. And now I want a yard of everyone. But, you know, gotta show restraint. Budget, Tish. But she has a lot of the Tim Holtz fabrics. Everything is 100% cotton that she has for her fabrics, if I remember correctly. She even has cork because she loves cork, and she orders it. And if you haven't used cork, it's so fun. I took some of her scraps just so I could play, and it's amazing, and I love it. It is on the expensive side, but for like embellishments and journal stuff, oh, so cool. A half a yard of that stuff would probably last you a year or more. So yeah, buy within your budget. But if you like these fabrics, go to the the Painted Raven .com. That's the link down in the description. And there is a coupon code for y'all down in the description. I don't remember how much, and I don't remember what the code is. And I'm sorry. I should have it written down and on my monitor, but I keep forgetting to do it. Someone send me a reminder, okay? Anyway, so I thought this would be cool on a journal. So I threw this in the box because I thought this would go really well with the clock and the gears. And then I found this bit of lace, again, cleaning. This is from an old pillowcase that I got at a thrift store. So I can just rip this part apart, and that's okay. There we go. There we go. So I thought that's pretty. And I think I got coffee stain on it. That was me. So this is the right way. But what if we just put that somewhere, doing something? I've got more of this, so if we want more, there is more. But so when you're designing your journal, when you're designing your journal, don't sit down and try and decide what you're going to do. I mean, okay, you can. You do you, boo. I'm not, no judgment. For me, I cannot sit down and do a whole sketchy thing and do all the elements and, you know, be a fashion designer. For me, I work better when I have a bag of things and I need to make something from it, because then I can just feel the vibe of the things that are together and go with it. And you'll notice a lot of my things have the same kind of color patterns, because those are the patterns, the color schemes that I float towards. I'm trying to evolve into having more bright colors. Neons scare me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think they're gorgeous, but working with them, I don't know. I like working with dark colors, so if they muddy up, it goes with my grunge. And not that I'm lazy, but I am just a little bit. Muddy is, I mean, I used to make mud pies. Come on. So what do we think about that idea? I think I have a piece of cardboard that is about this weight. Let's see what we got. Let's just do this really quick. Excuse me. I didn't want to make this live stream too long because I've got all kinds of things going on. Because I should have another box here. Yes, I do. I don't think that's going to work. No, these aren't going to work. They're too small. Okay, let me look. Because I'm trying to find something that is about the same weight of the cardboard. And is this an empty box, or is there stuff for Kiki in there? Yeah, there's stuff for Mikey in there. Okay, we have a shared space. I share my space with him up here, so because he has all his frames and mats and everything up here for his astrophotography, because I have the biggest workspace and I don't allow the cats to be in here. That's the other thing I'm going to need to buy. I just thought, sorry, thinking out loud again. Well, what if, see, yeah, I don't, this is all that kind of board. That's all like chipboard. But what if, hang on, I got an idea. I've got an idea. So what if we take this doubled up and turn it right side out so we don't have to worry about it, or wrong side out. Inside out. There, those are the words that I was looking for. So we do this here, and then we do this on the top. That way, yeah, that will work. Okay, so let's get that cut out so you can see where my brain is going, because I know you're like, what the flop is this lady doing? She is just carrying on and carrying on. So I'm going to take this off empty envelope. These are in with the file folders at Staples, Office Depot, Office Max, Walmart I think even has them. They are a lifesaver. I love these things so very much. Okay, we're going to bring out, oh yeah, excuse me, Fanny. Fanny is ready for her close-up. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeVille. Okay, any of you watch like old movies? Like totally? Like back when glamour was truly glamour, it wasn't all AI and craziness. So I'm going to cut this little piece off. So I want it, listen, I want it to be straight though, yo. Okay. And then once we have those done, then we can come back in and do this one. Like so. And then we can get a measurement. Come on, you know you want to. Be kind. Rewind. There we go. So we're going to line this up like that. And we're just going to take the barest minimum off this top. I'm going to make sure everything's straight. There we go. So now you can do this with your boxes when you get them. One, they store a lot nicer. Why is this not going? Because you're not using enough strength. Okay, there we go. These will go in the paper making. Oh, we got hung up there. Uh-oh, that's no bueno. So we'll just cut it off a little bit more. It's all right. It's all right. We just roll with it. When life hands you lemons. Okay, that's not going to work. We're going to have to use our straight edge for that. Let's see if this will work. When life hands you lemons, you trade them in for limes and you make margaritas. That is my philosophy. There we go. That one's nice and straight. And then I'm going to cut this off right here. Actually, let's leave that because we can use that to help build our hinge or our spine. So let me see if this will work better. If I leave it flat like this, how much do we need to cut off? About yay much. Okay, about yay much. Let's make this even. Let's do it that way. So we are right at 10 1/4. Okay. Okay. Whew. Bam, 10 1/4. What's this guy? 10 1/4 by 9 and something. All right, we'll just focus on the 10 1/4, but then we also have to think about what is this spine? Let's grab the ruler and find out. One moment, I need to get a drink. Okay, much better. It gets a little dusty up here. You know what? I just thought of something. My audio is probably all kinds of wonker-doodle. Hold on. I'm going to mask you off. There, now it should be better. I always forget to turn down my fan, and the fan kicks in when it's on high. It kicks in the audio filter thingy, because, you know, I'm technical terms right here. And this is, can't read that far away, 3/4 of an inch. So if we make 3/4 and 3/4 is 1/2, or excuse me, 1 1/2. So if we make it 1 1/2, let's just shoot for 2. And then we can cut off any extra if we decide to. So, but if you get pizza boxes like this or any kind of packaging, if you go through and pre-cut them down to like take off the edges that you don't want or whatever, unless you're using them for collage fodder, because these you can still use in that whatever, so they still become useful. So you, that way they're easier to store. You already have an idea of what the journal is going to, you know, be. It's going to be yay tall by yay wide, you know. So anywho, we're going to take, what size is this? Hold the show. See, this is where my brain goes. See, this is why I don't design. I mean, if I'm doing a commission, yeah, I have a design that I submit to them. Oh, it's only 1 3/4. Is that going to be wide enough? Because that's 3/4. Actually, it's only 1 3/8, excuse me. So what if... Wait a minute, this might be long enough though. That's 2 inches, just about. So wait, okay. Get with the program, Tish. So what we're gonna do, so this, because I know this is bigger than 10, right here. Yeah, that's like 12. And I know this is bigger than 10. Yeah, that's like 12 because it's a pizza box. I'm just gonna take my scissors and cut this off right here. So you can sit down and just say, okay, I'm going to cut boxes today. And you just cut boxes and you just, and you just go where the paper lets you go. Okay. Don't worry about being exact. Don't worry about any of that thing, any of that stuff. So we're going to cut this off right here. And then we're going to cut this one off right here. And we're going to cut this at, how tall was this again? A little bit shorter. Actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to use this as a template. We're going to put this here and this here. like so. And we're going to take our little Sharpie, get the lid off, and draw a line. There we go. Okay, and then this was here like this. And we're going to make the same line. There we go. Like so. Now these we'll use for other elements. So don't throw this out. You can use this as, you can take the hole punch and use them as little circles. This all will go into a bin for paper clay. Or you can, the craft paper, I usually, if it's pure craft and there's no other like labels or anything, I put them in with my toilet paper rolls, and I'm going to make craft colored paper out of it. Well, paper. It's not going to be a true paper, but it will be a true paper. So we're going to put these in the scrap box because I have a scrap box just for these things, which is way over there. So we'll just set it right there. Okay, and then we're going to take the other part of the pizza box and let's see, that edge is cut off. So let's line this up with that. Put this down underneath here because measuring means math and math means a headache. So we're going to take this, line up there, bring it on down. There we go. And is it going to fit in there? Yes, it will. If we fold it down. There we go. Okay, push that straight, line that up, push it underneath, line it up again. So don't see any red. There we go. There we go. Okay, boom. And then we're going to cut this right here. There we go. Okay, so this is going to go like this. I don't think we need two of these. Yeah, maybe we do. We'll just go with that. Now this you can, the glue, you can usually pull off the excess paper and you can sand this down if you want. That's what I'll probably end up doing. And you know what? Because we did this different, it's not lining up. So we're going to snip it so they line up because we're going to do this. Watch. I'm going to put this right here like this. And then that's going to go over that like that. So that way it's a little bit more reinforced. Okay. So this is going to go on the inside. So we want to make sure that these two are even. And if they're not even, we can always snip it off later too. All right, let's put this together, get it glued down, and let it set up overnight. And tomorrow we will pick out our signatures, pick out our storage, pick out all the things that we're going to put in it. And then the fabric I have, we're going to put just on this cover. We're going to put it just on here. And then the inside we'll pick out papers and we'll use papers for that. So I think the first order of business will be to glue this all together. So that folds out. So this is going to fold in like this, and then this will fold in like this. There we go. Okay. So we're going to take this and we're going to put, let's fold this out. So I'm going to line that up right there. And I'm not going to worry about this label because we're going to sand it a little bit so it's roughed up, and then we'll just glue our paper right over the top of it. No fuss, no muss. Okay, we need something that is going to dry fairly quickly, which would be the art glitter glue. Let's give it a shake. Okay, and we're going to put our glue down, and yes, I have a little bit of rust there. It's okay. It just makes it look ugly. It doesn't affect the power of the hold. And then we're going to take this and we're going to line it up. And yes, I used a lot of glue because I want it to smooch out the edge. That way I know I have a good adhesion. Again, we're going to cover this with paper, so it's not going to much matter. All right. And now we're going to get this other piece. And we're going to need to cut off just, actually no, I'm not going to cut it off. I'm going to leave it and we'll put a piece of tape over it. So it'll be a little bit thicker, but that's okay, because here's a quick hack for those of you who have a brayer. Smush it. You're going to smush down the cardboard. So corrugated cardboard is just cardboard that has a little bit of fluff added to it. And we're going to add some glue underneath here because this wants to lift. Same with this. We're going to embrace the imperfections, and I'm actually going to take this piece off. There we go, because that's a piece from the other piece, from the other where we ripped it off. So that should lay mostly flat now. And I'm trying not to smush the backside because that's not where I want it smushed. I just want it smushed right here. And we're just going to take that off. There we go. All right. Now we're going to line this up with that, and I am going to take a paper clip here. Come on. So it stays in place. And another paper clip here. And then we're going to move any of the extra paper that's here so it's not a weak point. There we go. And we're going to glue this down, paying attention to this spot here where it's going to be a little bit off level. There we go. I'm going to smush that down, and we want it to smush out the edges because we want to make sure that we have a good bond, because this is going to be a spine. We want it to be all good, you know? So smush it down, paying attention to where the seam is at. Okay, as far as the seam goes, we should have a stable spine. So I'm going to fold this over. There we go. Now, I'm going to move this way because I glue better right-handed. Now I'm not going to go all the way to the edge. This is where our fold is at, and we want it to still be able to fold easily. So I'm going to come, oops, you know what? Before we do this, we are going to do one thing. Where did my rag go? Glue rag, there you are. Before we do this, we're getting carried away. I'm getting carried away, not we. Why do I always talk like that? Why do we always say we? Next, we're going to, no, you're going to. Come on, let's get with the program. All right, let me clean off my needle because it's going to be a minute. I'm going to grab a piece of sandpaper. Somewhere in this vicinity is my sandpaper. Here we go. I'm trying to find my 80 grit. There it is. We're going to use 80 grit. This is just from Dollar Tree. I keep it in a Ziploc bag in my drawer behind me. This is cheap, literally cheap sandpaper. I would not actually use this on wood. Oops, sorry, got a little close to the microphone there. I apologize. I'm going to take, this is a sanding block, one of those foamy ones. This is a fine one, but you can make fine into rough just by going like that. And we're going to just give this some tooth. So they stay glued together. You can go straight up and down. You can go back and forth. You can sand any way you want. Don't worry, Grandpa's not going to roll over in his grave because you did woodworking wrong. Okay, got one side. Now let's do this side. And you don't want to sand it too much because you don't want to sand through the paper. You just want to give it some tooth and knock down the shine. All right, there's that. There we go. Now, see, we just knocked down the shine and took off just a little bit of that. Now I want to take my rubbing alcohol and a somewhat clean rag. I washed a bunch of my rags today and they are outside drying. And yes, I'm spraying right on the paper. It's okay. It'll dry. It's alcohol. And we're just going to get that sanding dust off of there so nothing interferes with our glue. I'm going to give that a moment to dry while I get a sip of water. There we go. DiGiorno pizza is not my favorite. If you know what my favorite is, leave it in the comments. So what's your favorite pizza? Like, do you have a restaurant near you that makes really good pizza? My favorite frozen pizza is, all I remember is it's a Detroit style pizza. And it is very good. Okay, we're going to take this nozzle off. We're going to use the big nozzle because it comes out faster. Did you know that you can do that? Just be careful when you put it back on. There we go. On one here. And I'm not worried about wrinkling, so we're not going to smoosh this out because this is, what's that stuff called? What's this stuff called? Chipboard. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. And I'm going to try and get as close to the edge as I can on both of these. And yes, it's probably going to smooch out. And yes, we've probably used too much glue, but you know what? I'd rather be safe than sorry. We're going to put the middle tip back on. And tap it just to make sure. There we go. And bloop. And then I'm going to take my brayer and give it firm pressure across the middle. And I'm going to stop just short of that edge. And we have a good seal because we've got a little leak of glue going on over here. And that's perfect. And I even have a little leak of glue going on there. That's okay. Like I said, I would rather it be a little messy and know I have a good seal than worry that these are going to come apart. So I'm just going to take my rag here and wipe up the extra. And then when I'm done, I use these are old kitchen towels. And I get my kitchen towels at Williams-Sonoma. Not because I'm fancy, but because they are worth the money. I also get my kitchen towels at IKEA. So, no hate to being inexpensive, because those IKEA towels take a beating. And I just knocked something on the floor. Oh, it's washi tape. So these are old towels. Once they start getting raggy, like frayed, I throw them up here in the attic, and they become art towels until I can't use them anymore for art towels. And then they go down, they get washed, cut up into chunks, and put out in the garage so they can be staining towels. So they live a good long life. All right, now let's get our fold down here. Let's fold it this way first. There we go. And then we're going to fold it this way. Excuse me. There we go. Nice and burnished. And now we have our spine. So it is going to look like this. It is going to sit here like this. And then we open it up. And then we open it up. And what I think we're going to do is, what would you do with this? Would you make it? And here's many ideas that I have going through my head right now. I'm going to let this dry before I try and snip it to size. Like, I noticed that these aren't the right dimensions. Like, this is overlapping a little bit off, and I'll square all this up once I get this glue to dry. And I probably should have waited for the glue to dry before I folded it. That's okay. We'll just roll this out and we'll give it another fold later. I was excited to see what it would look like. So my one idea is to turn this into another watercolor book. If you haven't seen the one watercolor book that I made, I put the pencils, the watercolor pencils, right inside the book, so you could travel with it and take it wherever you wanted. You could very easily put the pencils here, have it fold down, and still have a hard surface to do watercoloring on, because it's not going to lay flat, obviously. But what if, the other thing I was thinking is we could do junk journal pages in here, you know, and then have just a slew of pockets, and maybe a folio type pocket here where you can put all ephemera and all the things that you want to put in the journal here. And then when you're done with the journal, you can put additional things in there, like little notebooks or whatever. So what would you do with something like this if you were to design, if you were designing it? So this is kind of how it's going to look from the top there, so you can kind of see. I'm going to let it stand. No, I'm going to let it lay flat. Maybe if I can get my, reclaim my desk. Just shove everything to the side. That's what I usually do. Okay, this needs to go up there. Okay, so let that lay flat and dry. I am going to put some stuff that's heavy on it so it lays flat and doesn't curve up on me. That's one thing that's heavy. Here's another thing that's heavy. There we go. This should keep it flat. So what would you do with this, all this space? Would you make an art journal? Would you make a junk journal with maybe another journal behind it? You know, where is your brain taking you? That's kind of, I think, honestly, I think part of our problem as artists is we seek other people's approval, whether it's our family, whether it's our friends, whether it's fellow artists. And the only person you need to get approval from is you. You are the only one that needs to approve this message. You know, you're the only one that, if you love it, then make it. It doesn't matter what it is. As long as it doesn't hurt you or anyone else, do what you will. And have fun and be expressive and go out and create something awesome, because life's too short to not do it. And always remember, be kind to one another. Peace, love, and happiness.